All right, go ahead.
All right. We're back, baby.
What's going on, everybody? Merry early Christmas. I know we're only filming like about 4 days before it, but look, if we're not going to be, this is going to be the last episode before Christmas, so I think it just makes sense. As you can see, got my little dude going on.
And I do not, unfortunately. I couldn't find my hat.
I'm also wearing, most people can't see, but I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt that says, your lack of faithness is disturbing. Just shows Darth Vader and the stormtroopers. The stormtroopers both have Santa hats, but I'll be wearing my Stranger Things Christmas sweater on the next segment. But hope everyone's doing well. Hope
you did bring another sweater.
Yeah,
that's what I noticed.
First off, let's see if it gets colder in here, and then also it's a Christmas sweater, so I think you can switch it up a little bit.
It's not horrific right this second.
Not like last time,
no,
or
last
the episode,
time
or that time before that.
We can still see our breath, but I mean, it's not.
It's just not to that. It's just not to that level.
The last time was absolutely crazy. It was crazy town.
It was a fun time though. So,
it was so fun, but it was so effing cold. It was crazy.
So we just decided we're going to switch it up. Now we're not going to go heavy on the politics today. We might dab a little bit, but we're going to
touch on it.
But we're going to we might touch on it. But we're actually going to reverse. We normally start off with the politics, but we're going to begin with all the fun stuff and everything. Maybe end with like a little like thoughts on everything going on, especially with Amfest just taking place. I don't know if it's still taking place. I don't know how long that event takes place, but that's neither here or there. But there are some things that came up in the pop culture world that I think are a little interesting, especially given my personal thoughts on one of them, and then given the news that just came out yesterday, the 20th, that was confirmed. But we'll get to that in a sec. And then discuss Christmas movies and every kind of discussion, whether is a movie a Christmas movie or not a Christmas movie. Is one movie more Christmas than the other thing? Or whatever. But I wanted to start off with talking about how it's Sunday now, so the weekend has almost passed, and the new Avatar, Fire and Ash, just came out. And I guess James Cameron came out with a tweet saying that if 3 doesn't do well, in his eyes, that he is not going to make any more Avatar films, even though he initially planned to make 4 total. He's made 3 now. He said because this new one's budget is $400 million, and for this past weekend only, it hasn't even made that much yet. He's already saying, now, obviously too soon to tell, because I didn't think even 2 was going to make $2 billion, or at least close to that. I think that's what the second one made. No, the first one for sure made that. Maybe it was more, I could be wrong. I think it was in the $2 billion range. And then the second movie made not as much, but definitely very close. Still in the top 5 highest grossing movies of all time, worldwide. But honestly, I'd be fine with him not making a 4th one. I was already against him making a second one, especially given how entitled he thinks he is to success for his movies, just because he spends a lot of money, has a creative direction. But I want to get your thoughts on those news, your thoughts on the movies as a whole, Fletch, and whatever. It's just a small thing. I'm not passionate about it.
I love the Avatar franchise. I think it's cool. I don't know why. I really am attracted to the blue women in the movie. I don't have any idea why. I don't know.
I've always found
they kind of give me a Filipina vibe, and we all know how much I like the Philippines. So I don't know. The Avatar has like more of a Philippine vibe, I guess you could say, to me personally. But all kidding aside, I love the expression and the cinematography that's involved in the movie.
So is that
fantastic?
Is that the main thing that attracts you about the
movie?
movie?
It is.
It's not like the story itself. It's like
story. I do like the characters. I do think they did a great job in the first one. I believe you're along the same lines. The characters are pretty cool. The story is secondary. It's more about the cinematography. For me, personally, doesn't make it a bad movie. It'll never be in my top 10. But in terms of just visual, the stunning effects when one came out, visually stunning, I love the movie. So, but like I say, it's never going to be one of my top 10 or top 20 movies of all time. Probably you're along the same lines.
I definitely can't say it's even a top 20. And actually, the fact is let's be real. I think that the thing that does attract me most to that is the visuals. And even I can say, as someone who was against watching the second movie just because of James Cameron's comments regarding, oh, who wouldn't want to see my movie, because they're really, as I'm quoting him, they're really fucking good movies. I'm really quoting him. That's literally
right. I remember.
It's literally what he said.
He dropped an F-bomb.
And actually, you, like with Deadpool Wolverine, you had to drag me for that movie. Granted, this movie came out before Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah.
But you had to drag me for that movie. I was like,
100%.
Let's go, man. I'll pay, and we're gonna do everything.
See it. We're gonna go see it.
Yeah.
And you were
so
adamant.
I was like, all right, like, okay, I'll show Morgan the first movie and go on from there. And as someone who didn't want to watch the second one, and trust me, I will sleep easy knowing they're not going to make another Avatar movie if this is the case. Well, him in particular. But I still have to say is where I will agree with you that while not in a top 10, top 20, probably not even a top 50 for me personally. I don't know. I did only look at those movies like, I'm not saying the stories are terrible, but when I think of stories, Avatar doesn't come to mind. Most people know, like, I've heard more talk about like the John Wick movies more than Avatar, and Avatar has made significantly more money. Like, I think that even the second Avatar, like I said, did not make as much as the first one. Even that one has made more money than the entire John Wick franchise combined, and I hear more talk about John Wick than Avatar. And I'm not saying, obviously that's my anecdotal experience, but the fact is the second one has made more money than the entire John Wick, all the movies. But even with that being said, I just say that in terms of effects, I did like the effects of the first movie. I think for me personally, just a little overhyped. I think people were like, "Oh my god, it's the best effects," and we waited.
It's like transcendent.
Yeah, it's like transcendent.
Okay, cool it. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, right.
I'm with you.
But I am going to say this right now in terms of the effects, and I'll give credit where credit's due. Yes, the first movie looked great, and the second one looked great as always. They did not deteriorate on the effects; they only improved on them. I gotta say this though. I have not seen such beautiful water effects in a movie than Avatar 2, Way of the Water. Now, I know it's called The Way of the Water, but I'm just saying, when you look at the water effects when they're swimming, or you're looking out, exploring the world, like when they film the whole world and stuff, the water is beautiful. I agree with you on it too. I felt like I was watching them. I almost think they filmed in the Florida Keys, and if they didn't, well, you did a great job of replicating that.
Correct.
Like even when I was seeing it in theaters with you, I was like, my goodness, like it was breathtaking, and I'd watch the second movie again. But I think the main thing for me is I already didn't like the idea of 3 because of how they ended the second movie. I'm not going to spoil this for anyone in case you want to catch up on the first 2 before watching this new one. I'll just be gracious. Plus the holiday season, so definitely no spoilers here. But the way they ended the second one, I'm like, really? Like, you had the one kid had to do that. If whoever has watched the movie will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I found that stupid, and that's my problem with some of like the Marvel movies. And I just rewatched this movie, and I love this movie to death. What I'm about to talk about. This is my problem with some of like the Marvel universe. If you really think about it, Fletcher, Spider-Man No Way Home, that's the movie I'm talking about that I rewatched. Fantastic movie. I loved it. I love the reveal of Toby and Andrew being brought to the big screen again with Tom Holland. But the problem with Marvel movies, and this is the problem with Avatar 2 going into 3, is basically the whole universe is stupid decisions were made, and that's why we have sequels. So the reason why No Way Home exists is because Peter Parker, Tom Holland, was stupid. He didn't shut up when Doctor Strange was casting the spell. He just kept talking and changing the spell, and then it created the multiverse. And then Ant-Man 3 happens because they decide, oh, let's mess with the quantum realm again. And then Avatar 2, again, that dumb thing that happens at the end, that's why we have an Avatar 3. It's because one person made a stupid choice and they're continuing the universe on that. Now, I want to see 3, even though it's the lowest rated one. I'm going in there for visuals and action. It looks like an intense. This one looks intense.
What's
like
the tag? What's the subtitle? It's
Fire and Ash. Fire and Ash. And
I agree with you.
I'm like,
1,000%.
wow, this looks like an epic. I feel like they're going to make it more action packed, like
It's gonna be more
like,
action packed,
and that's what I care
I think
about.
there's going to be some cool characters developed in the third one.
Yeah.
From the look of the the preview. I don't know for sure. Obviously, I haven't seen it yet. We're gonna go see that soon. So
in a week.
Yeah. So
at the Saturday after Christmas.
So by the time we do next Sunday's podcast,
we will have a review for it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We would have seen it this time, but given everyone preparing for the holiday season, and I also had my son, I'm not gonna have someone watch my son while I go watch this movie. I'd rather spend that time with my son. And I would have been inclined to take him to that, but I don't think he either would be that intrigued with it, and it might be a bit much, like the length of the movies and also how violent they can get. They're not horribly violent, but
That's another fun fact to talk about real quick.
What's
is
that?
the length of the movie? You told me it's over 3.
Yeah, the second one. Hold on, the first one was 2.5.
Correct.
I think 2 just made 3. I could be wrong.
It's either a shade before,
Before or it's right
Before,
on like
or
the
it's
3
right on
hour and like
3.
3 minute
now
mark.
this one's even longer.
It's 3 and what is it, like 3 and 28 or 30?
so
or
it's
something?
almost 3.5 hours.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's 3:20. If I'm being gracious with it, it might be like 3:20. But that's still approaching like half-hour territory. And you gotta keep in mind, nowadays we go to the theater, especially the one we're going to be going to, because actually I have a funny story regarding this. I took Morgan to see my girlfriend, in case whoever's tuning into the podcast for the first time. Morgan is my girlfriend who comes on the podcast sometimes. She and also appears sometimes. Or did I just say that? I took her to see Polar Express in theaters a week ago. Well, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. I think it was like mid-December. And there was a promotion going on for it where if you wear your PJs, you can get 50% off like an icy or something like that. It was like a cute little promotion. Like, hey, you wear your PJs for Polar Express, get a discount on your concessions, because you really need that nowadays. That was $10 for a Slurpee. I'm like, yeah, thankfully I got a refill. I'm like, I better get a refill if I'm paying $10 for a Slurpee. That's just me, though. So when I asked, the manager...
I have the best prices in movies.
And the best price?
No, you don't. You don't have the best price on anything right now.
No, you don't.
We're not going down that rabbit hole. Go ahead.
Well, it's insane that half the time the concessions are more... Like, dude, that drink is more than a ticket and a matinee. That's ridiculous. But that's neither here or there. And when I asked them about the promotion, I didn't throw a fit about it. They said, well, we haven't got anything about it. And it did say select locations. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to throw a fit. I'm here to have a good time. Just want to see if you were doing it. If not, no big deal. I'm just here to have a nice time with my girl. And, so we watched the movie and all that stuff. So I went to get a refill after the movie was over. And then, so the guy asked, later the manager, when I got a refill from the employee. And he said, so... Get this, Fletch. This is one showtime for the Polar Express. It was that Saturday, 3:40. That was it. No earlier time, no later time, nothing like that. They got the message for the promotion after the movie was already over with.
Oh, I remember you telling me.
And then then the guy, and I said, look, that's not your fault. That's it is what it is. Whether he was lying or not, I've known the manager since 2018. We're not like close. We don't text each other. Yeah. He probably doesn't even know my name. I'm going to be honest. But he recognized me and I recognized him. So we have some history. Right. Actually, he was there when we went to go see Terminator Dark Fate with my ex-fiance.
Oh,
my fiance at the time. And so he was there. And so then because of that, of, not doing the promotion, he wanted to compensate me. So because of that, he actually gave me 2 free tickets. And I'm like, seriously? I'm like, and when will it be like 24 hours? He goes, oh, it should be right there. And I checked on my Regal card, and it was right there.
It was
So, and that's why we're going to this theater, which brings me back to the original conversation, which was with Crocker Park. If I'm not mistaken, that theater in particular, like Regal in particular, dude, sometimes I think nowadays they have 30 minutes of previews. I'm not kidding you when I say
no
this.
joke. I'm with you
Like,
because a lot
we
of
could go to
movies-
Phoenix in North Olmsted, and you might get 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes, but mostly they have like
It's about 15.
10, 15 minutes. Like on a
Yeah.
good day, like on a normal day, like 10 minutes of previews. But at Regal, you have 30 minutes. I've actually counted 30 minutes.
It's a lot.
Which is crazy because one of my commentators, he went to see, I think he was talking about what he thought of the new Avatar, because he watched the new Avatar. He goes to see the big blockbusters. And he even said this one theater he went to for Avatar late at night. He saw it late. He saw it at 11:30. The new Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
And he legit said he counted. He timed it. The previews were 33 minutes.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, that's insane. So that's why we were going to go. So that means I would have been gone from my son for like 4 hours, 4.5 hours, because you gotta leave to go to the theater, then you gotta get your stuff, and then you gotta sit down and watch all the frickin' 30 minutes of previews. Then you gotta drive back home. Again, I would have been gone for 4.5 hours if I had planned to have my son be watching my son. So it's just like we can't do it. So we will be seeing it the Saturday after Christmas, and then we will give you guys a review on it. We would have done it this weekend, but just again, holidays. Priorities.
It's a timing thing, plus, the length of the movie. It's hard to squeeze in 3.5 hour film.
Yeah, with yours, and plus with
our schedules, yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah,
so,
but we will definitely do it Saturday, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, and I just wanted to say, hey, you don't make a fourth one, I'm not going to lose sleep. You make one, at least the fourth one will be the last one. Those are like.
I'm shocked that he already is prefacing.
Well, he's so impatient.
Foreshadowing, it's basically almost like, kind of like it gives the feeling of insecurity. It's like, dude, you made what was the number? 390.
It was like 390.
390 in the opening.
This was as of yesterday, actually. I watched the video.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. They're gonna make money on it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm mixed on that. So on one hand, I would understand because there are plenty of movies, big blockbusters that do make 600, 700 million, even like opening weekend. Some movies have done that.
Right.
There's no denying that. But I think when it comes to Avatar, like when we saw it, when we saw Avatar 2,
mm-hmm.
I think the movie had only made like 200 million, 300 million like opening. If I'm being gracious, maybe even 400 million. Then I checked the box office like months later. It made like 2 billion. So it's like,
right.
You're going to be all right.
He's going to be fine. That was my point. And I was like, man, it's like very insecure about, I know it cost a crap ton of money to make the film, but they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
But then again, there is a fatigue going on with movies right now. So, look, in a time where there is a lot of fatigue, I can't believe that. Because guess what? If the first one made the most money and the second one did not make as much money as the first one, who's to say if the third one's going to match even the second one's box office? So there is a little
bit of apprehension. I get it.
But I do. I will agree with you, to a degree.
I'm thinking he's going to be okay.
Yeah. I do agree with you to a degree that I think he's freaking out too much, too quickly. But I do think that there is a chance that it might not be as successful. But I'm going to say this right now: if you were that worried, maybe you shouldn't spend $400 million on a movie. But that's just me. So, but in terms of the news, there was another bit of news since we're going to squeeze a few things in here for pop culture.
About one of my favorite, if not my favorite movie franchise. Go ahead. I'm going to strap in my seatbelt.
One of my favorite franchises, too. It's definitely up there. Probably top 5.
Top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I got to say, at least consistently good. Given the news that came out the other day, and that was the announcement of John Wick 5.
I don't know how you do that. How
How
do you do that? You have the perfect movie for is my favorite. If not, like, it's definitely tied for my favorite. Every single movie's fantastic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You got me to fall back in love with 2 by watching it again. Like,
and you say you don't even know what's your favorite because 2 was like that good rewatching it.
I mean, it was so good, like rewatching that movie. But 4 is just such a complete movie. It's the ending. It's the perfect ending for such an iconic character like John Wick. How would you bring that back?
The only way I can see it is
that happens.
The only way I can see it is that's why they didn't show us him like dying and having the funeral for him. But even then, like, this isn't even my biggest concern. My biggest concern is what Keanu and even the director said. Keanu, God, I cannot separate from John Wick sometimes. He even said back in March of this year that Wick was dead, and the director said this was supposed to be the conclusion of everything. And I thought maybe this is just a rumor I heard. I think I heard somewhere that the director or a producer, someone obviously that has some say or a big say in, whether the movies get made or not. I think one of them said, and again, maybe this is just a rumor, this is just some YouTube comment I saw, so I don't, take it with a grain of salt. But I think he said something along the lines of, he didn't want to make 4 because, not even 4, but anything beyond that, because he could see the genre getting stale, getting worse in quality and everything like that. So,
and plus, you mentioned when we chit chatted, the guy, and we just looked it up before we did the podcast. The guy's 61 years old.
Yeah,
Keanu. The physical pounding he's taken in the movies, because he does all of it. He's like Tom Cruise in the sense that all of that judo, all of that martial arts, that's all real. That's all Keanu.
And his gun training, you can literally see him training with firearms.
Weren't you the one that told me with the way he loaded the gun?
When he does the flick off the wrist
thing.
That's his thing.
That's his thing when they
what you're from 2 when he's going through the crowd and he runs out of man, so he just does this and he's struggling and running. That's
a
his
Keanu thing. Yeah.
That's not the directors. That's not anyone.
That's somebody
not
telling him to load it like that. That's his way of doing that. So I just don't know, with his age, and you had such a perfect ending. It's come on, guys.
It's
I can get the offshoot, like Ballerina that we went to go see.
Yeah.
If you guys want to go in different directions that have an attachment to the franchise, go for it. I think Ballerina surprised both of us. It was an excellent movie. It's not on par with the John Wick movies.
Yeah, I think
but
it's
it
the
still
least
was
greatest,
a very good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought the weak link was the actress, but I love the fact that Keanu was in that movie. Dude, when he gets off the train, I still remember that. We were in the theater and I look at you and I'm like, oh my God.
No. Before that, even once a woman said, we're gonna send somebody. I forget what her sentence was. We're we're gonna send our guy or someone. And by the way, I'm gonna tell you the fun fact in a minute. But once she said that, I was like, no, they're not. And then he gets, I'm like, I knew it.
The Baba Yaga.
But then, now here's the fun fact. That same guy told you who wants to see Avatar 3 late at night and then the 33 minutes of previews and stuff. When he reviewed Ballerina, he said he didn't understand why John was there given the time it takes in between, because Ballerina is set in between. It's set during and after. I think it's during and then a little bit. I think it's during 3. They say it's between 3 and 4, but when you look at when Wick is first shown, it's during the scene of
3.
It's kind of during 3 because you see him walking down the stairs talking with, what is it, the mother or whatever he calls her. I think he called her mother or something like that, even though she wasn't actually his mom. It's just term in the culture and the league and stuff. But it was during 3 at the very least. And they said, how does it make sense? How is John there? And there was actually a deleted scene. I don't know if you saw this. But there is a scene where like he leaves the place, and in the middle of that, he is actually called to for the job to kill
the ballerina.
the ballerina
Like,
Eve.
Eve,
That's her
yeah.
name, right?
In the movie, yeah.
And yeah, he was sent to kill her. So that's why it made sense that.
What's the actress's name? Not to digress. Oh my God, it's at the tip of my tongue.
I've seen her name so much, and I don't.
It starts with an A, does it not?
Anna de Armas.
That's it. Boom.
Anna de Armas.
Oh my God! How can I not remember that?
I literally see her in
literally
YouTube shorts every time.
I'm senile. It's over for me.
Dude, I've noticed I've been forgetting stuff more. I'm like, how the fuck? I know I can remember stuff from 6 years old, but yeah, I'm starting to forget these characters.
Are we allowed to use the word? I feel retarded.
Yeah.
So sometimes, who cares?
I don't follow the whole, don't say that word on YouTube. I'm like, dude, I see high-class YouTubers
there we
yell
go.
that word. So
now you guys can hear in the background, we're filming in a barn. Sounds like the train is on top of me and Nick.
Yeah,
So.
but then this is my whole thing is, like, with Keanu saying that Wick is dead and that's it, like, it was done. And then director, I think he even saying something similar, but then he said the box office was so good and whatever. And then Keanu, I think later, and like during the summer, mentioned like just the physical like requirements for are challenging for him. And now last night they just confirmed it that he's coming back. I'm genuinely concerned that even if they are making it and he's doing it, I'm actually concerned that this one's going to kind of flop. I don't think he's gonna like doing it because he loved doing the first 4 movies and Ballerina, but I just have the feeling that he's not gonna like doing this.
I'm with you.
And the thing that is more
he'll
apparent,
do it, but I think it's gonna be a letdown for not only the franchise,
and he's not a
but
rebellious
for him.
person. He's just not
He's one of the best human beings in Hollywood. Honest to God. Anything you read about the guy, he's just as real as it comes.
Yeah.
He is just an actual human being that happens to be famous. He's not like 95% of the other people in Hollywood, which are plastic. They're just fake. I mean, it's a fake universe that everybody existing out there. He's much different than that. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it'll be
I think I'm
a
just
letdown for
really
the audience and him.
I'm honestly concerned at this point. Dude, don't make John Wick 5 continue the ballerina story. Improve her character, and you don't even if you want to sneak Keanu in there, feel free.
Yes.
Although I think they shouldn't just to give her, because let's be real, he was the best thing about Ballerina.
100%.
It's not just because he was John Wick, but his appearance, his gravitas, and just the way he delivers himself. It was nice to see him after seeing him killed off. Well, supposedly killed off in 4. Like,
but they're not going to listen. If they can make money off of the franchise.
And this is exactly what I was concerned about.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to do the Marvel thing where they're like, we're going to make every freaking movie now because it makes money. But when you focus on money, and look, I'm a capitalist. I'm all for people. Look, you know how to make money. Who am I to tell you can't make money? Go right ahead. But people are not going. This movie is not going to be. I think a lot of people are going to be tuned out from John Wick. I'm going to be honest. It might do well. I don't think it's going to have.
People will go see it, but it's not going to be able to replicate what the original through 4 was able to do, which is like each movie was fantastic in its own right, but they fit together like good puzzle pieces in the story. That's the purpose of a franchise, is to produce puzzle pieces that go together because then you have an audience that's not only engaged with a movie in an individual format. That's what made Marvel so good back in the day. You were able to fit those movies together, tie them together in a loose fabric where you had people that were just totally into the Marvel universe, right or wrong.
Yes.
And that's why it's fallen apart as of late. After End Day, they just let it, they're just into a money-making industry, and it's apparent to the consumer, the customer, you and I, the film watchers, that it's not it's not a lot of the movies aren't relevant. They don't fit together. They're just like movies to make money.
The last
So,
question I
yeah.
heard from anybody, like, if I'm disregarding Deadpool and Wolverine because that's just a special anomaly, I think I knew a lot of people were going to see that just because Deadpool and a return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, everyone wanted that for a long time, so I just knew. Like, that movie was going to make big bucks. It's just the way it was going to be. But disregarding that, the last question I got, this was from one person. That's when someone asked me, did I go see Ant-Man 3? Like, beyond that, I don't hear anyone talking about Marvel.
I don't remember.
Oh, God, no. God, no.
I don't remember seeing Ant-Man 3, and I love the original. I thought the original was
And
great.
I even like the second one. I know it's underrated, it's not that memorable, but it is an important movie regardless. I even liked 2. I really liked 2.
It was decent. I remember 2.
Now, Ant-Man 1 is obviously the best one, but I still like 2.
2 is when they introduced the Wasp.
Yes,
correct?
and then
Yeah.
they ended the movie with the snap, and that's why Ant-Man was stuck in there, because
Correct.
the people that were there were snapped out of
right,
existence.
right.
The blip, as they like to call it. But I didn't watch Ant-Man 3, but the only reason I was asked because there was a coworker at the time asking me about it. Beyond that, I don't know anyone that's talking about Marvel.
I never saw Ant-Man 3. I just realized that.
Well,
I know we
hear
weren't
it's
talking about
I hear it's
Ant-Man.
one of the worst modern Marvel films. They decided to add some politics in there and say that socialism's not that bad. I'm like, give me a break. I don't want to watch that shit in a Marvel movie.
Now I want to watch it. Now we're gonna watch it just because it's another movie that's bad.
Look,
I gotta see
I'm
it.
sick and
I
tired. Look,
forgot about that.
you know what I like? There is something that I like that I don't know if it was Tim Pool or someone else that said this, and that's when they say, or Asmongold actually, I think, and I like what they said. It's not that we have a problem with politics in movies. It's I don't like your agenda being in movies.
Correct.
A lot of movies, dude, comic books from the beginning of time have been political. I mean, look at Captain America. That's World War II. That's a political movie. It's a military versus military movie. It involved Adolf Hitler and stuff like that. I mean, there's a joke in the first Captain America that Cap beat the shit out of Adolf Hitler. I mean, it's it is political. Captain America: The Winter Soldier is a very political movie.
Right.
But there wasn't anything wrong with it being political. But I don't want your agenda. I don't want to know if Black Widow. No one's made this claim, although not that I know of. I don't want to know that Black Widow represents Kamala Harris. I don't want to know that Captain America represents, definitely not, but represents Donald Trump. I don't want that. The story is the story. Don't inject your ideas into that movie. I don't care if you think
Agreed.
socialism is good or bad. I don't want you to say, "Oh, screw capitalism" or praise capitalism. That's not what we're here to watch. We're here to watch mindless entertainment. That's what it is, and that's why I didn't watch the new. I was curious about the last Captain America. I was curious because I've always wanted to see the Red Hulk live action because they've never done that, and I'm like, wow, the model looks good, and I like Harrison Ford as an actor. But then Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford had to open their mouths, and I'm just like, I know this is a joke of ours now, but I literally go, that's it. Like, fuck it. I'm not.
Right.
No, it's because Anthony Mackie said, I don't care who you guys are or where you are on the political spectrum. I don't care. It does not matter. I don't care. If you think the way you do, more
Right.
power to you.
Yeah.
But when Anthony Mackie says some stupid shit and goes, oh, I think Captain America should represent a lot of things. I don't think America should be one of them.
It was just the most insane thing, and I like Mackie.
That's insane.
it's-
not only from an from a just
A common sense standpoint.
that's just stupid.
It's ignorant.
You're completely ignorant. I don't want Captain America to represent America. Hello, it's literally in his name. What do you want to be called? Captain Chinese?
No, Captain Israel.
Captain Israel, Captain Palestine. It's like, what do you want him to represent? And then it's just like, dude, go screw yourself. Why are you playing the role?
Did you hear the new on Captain America? They're changing the color scheme to blue and white, and they're gonna have a Z on the front of his uniform.
Huh?
He's gonna be called Captain Zionist.
You had me going there. Holy shit.
You're face. He actually was going down. He was going down Crazy Town. He was visiting Crazy Town with Fletch. Like, your face was like, I haven't heard this before. It's because it's completely made up by a lunatic sitting next to you. No, that would be funny. That's not as far-fetched probably as most people would think if they hear it and listen to it on the podcast.
Yeah, right.
It's in today's world. Who knows what the hell's gonna happen?
And then there's another thing. And look, I'll add this for 5 seconds. And then when Harrison Ford, again, you're talking to people. I'm not trying. We don't really want to have a political discussion in regards to this, but like we're not fans of Donald Trump or anything right now. We're not. But when Harrison Ford says that Red Hulk is a representation of, and this was back in February when Trump was just president again for 1 month. He had just been inaugurated, like literally inaugurated for a whole month. And he says that Red Hulk represents the Trump administration. I'm like, why are you shoving that in there? I like Red Hulk because of Red Hulk, not because of who he represents.
Yeah, nothing. It was just, again, it's a character that you like. It should have no political affiliation. It doesn't belong there. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just but you don't shove that in
there.
That's
today's world. That's what we live in.
It's like, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to see some conservative movie, or at least something that would look conservative. I don't want them shitting on the Joe Biden administration. I'm not interested in that. I will do that on my own time, listening to my podcast. I don't need that in a superhero movie. It's just dumb, because at the end of the day, your perceptions are going to be different, and if it's not something I agree with, if you have an ideology in a movie and people don't agree with it, do you really think they're going to watch that? They're not going to.
Nixon anti-Semite.
Yes, the main character's Jewish. I'm just going to avoid them.
Didn't like the Captain Zionist idea. Not happy with Nick. So,
well, I will say we are definitely over the half-hour mark. I thought we would reach our third one.
That's okay. No, what we're gonna do in the next episode, this is perfect. You know, we'll tone down any political discussion.
We're just gonna stop.
Yeah, we're gonna wait on that, and maybe we'll every 2 or 3 weeks we'll do a political discussion, a couple episodes.
Because then, I think if something is like breaking,
something that's monumental. Like, I mean, we have some stuff on TPUSA we could talk about, but right now it's not really monumental.
The last time we talked about, I mean, we went hard on it, like the last episode that was on.
Yeah, that was on politics and stuff.
So I think this is just a continuation. Who wants to continue that the few days before Christmas?
The next episode's going to be great because we're going to talk about, because it's the holiday season, you know. Christmas is coming up next week. I'm so excited.
Me too. Christmas is my favorite.
For whatever reason, this year I'm like super excited about Christmas.
Well, it
takes you back to when I was a kid. I would get super excited, and then when I went through what I went through like 4 or 5 years ago with, a horrible human being that I lived with, and she lives out in Menor and she's blonde, and I plan on ramming and keying her car at some point. Oh my God, did I verbalize that out loud? I think I did. But I mean, nonetheless, it's kind of because everything happened around the holiday times. So it kind of put a bad vibe. It cast a bad shadow over the holidays. But that was 4 years ago. My life is actually pretty amazing. I got some cool family. I got some great friends. We're doing some fun stuff on a weekly, daily basis. So, I'm excited for the holidays again. Plus, I got a little Filipina. I give her a little shout out, Miss Rose in the Philippines. So we'll give her a little shout to say hi. She's like, I want to be on the podcast. And I was like, well, dear, sweetie, that's a little difficult because, you're just far away. So, I don't know how you're going to do that. We could, pipe you in. But, no, I want to be there. Can't you wait? And no, we're not going to wait 2 days so you can take a plane ride here to talk about it. So I'll give her a little shout out because she wants to see the podcast. We're going to talk about one of my favorite topics that I'm looking forward to talking about Christmas movies.
Yeah.
The next
and then the debates that go on regarding find out in the next episode. So we will see you guys then.
We'll be back.
Cool. That was cool. So next segment,
Good.
we're just gonna talk about Christmas movies.
That's it.